everybody, welcome back. This is Josh with you, and this gun has actually been in one of my other videos. I won't tell you which one because that would let the cat out of the bag, but if you know much about your old Wild West type guns, cowboy guns, you can figure it out pretty easily. If you're not there yet, you're probably not a Wild West fan. But that's okay. This is my Winchester 94 AE. Basically, it's a modernized version of the Winchester 1894. There are chrome or stainless parts on this gun that probably were not on the old Wild West ones because they didn't even have stainless steel back in 1894 in the first place. But the other important thing is the round that this fires didn't exist in 1894. Anyways, I just measured it, and this gun measures almost an exact 16-inch barrel. It holds 9 rounds, so you probably get your little wheels going and you're thinking, well, it must be a pistol cartridge, because you obviously can't fit 9 rifle cartridges in that magazine tube that is almost the exact same length of the barrel. I have to apologize for the condition. This gun was owned by a couple of other people before me, and they didn't know that guns made out of steel will rust, and they put little scratches and whatnot on them and never cleaned it, so we got a couple of rust pits. Very disappointing, but it's still in good shape. Okay, we're safe. Did you get it yet? Well, you might have guessed this beast right here is what it takes. This is your standard 240 grain 44 Magnum cartridge. Well, more or less. I did remove the primer and the gunpowder, so it's safe to use as a dummy round, but it feels about the same as a regular cartridge. Now, there is a slight weight difference, and it's a little bit more top heavy now because the primer and the gunpowder do actually weigh a little tiny bit. I only have one 44 Magnum dummy round right now, but one is a lot better than nothing. We're going to go ahead and take that and put it into this magazine tube for later, and we're going to go over the features of this particular gun. By the way, this model did not come with a sling. I had to buy the sling kit by Butler Creek. It was super easy to install. The only downside is you got to throw a screw hole in the back of the freaking stock. Kind of sucks because it takes the cowboy element out of it because they didn't have screw guns back in the cowboy days or hand drills. Either way. The sling is on there, and I think it looks good. So, features: 9 rounds, 44 Magnum. That's pretty badass. On top of that, we got a very safe gun. It's actually safe enough to carry one in the tube if you really need 10 rounds. For a home defense or a guy that's a really bad shot, I guess. There you go. You can hold 10 rounds in this beast. It's also a lot of fun to shoot. Of course, if it shoots 44 Magnum, it'll shoot 44 Special and 44 Russian, if you somehow find the means to even acquire 44 Russian ammo in the first place. With its 16-inch barrel, you do get a considerable improvement in velocity. Personally, I, with my chronometer, have gotten, I think, about 40% increase in velocity, which with that grain of bullet equates to almost a 40% increase in power. So you go from being a really awesome Magnum pistol cartridge to being a pretty decent close-range Magnum rifle cartridge. And you got to remember, that's 240 grains at .429 caliber. I mean, 43 caliber hole is plenty big. This would be ideal for black bear out to 100 yards. You could probably drop them at 150. Wild boar, pigs, whatever you want to call them. Anything under the 400 or 500 pound range. You could go up to the 700-800 pound range of things that are what's known as big game with thin skin. You could probably hunt moose with it if you're crazy enough. I mean, plenty of moose have been killed with 44 Magnums. The only advantage you get with the rifle is you get a little better range and a little more punch. The downside is if you shoot cheap ammunition, those cartridges are not intended to go that velocity. So say you load a cheapo 44 Magnum jacketed hollow point in this, let's say American Eagle, and you shoot a moose with that. It's going to be like a little tiny hand grenade went off inside that moose. The bullet is totally going to be destroyed. There won't be any bullet. Shoot Hornady ammo through it, it'll be much, much better. Granted, the whole hand grenade going off inside is quite effective for killing something, but it ruins a lot of meat. Alright, let's go into safety features. You should know how to safely handle the gun before you ever touch it, so we'll go ahead and tell you the safety features. It has a grip safety. The trigger and the hammer cannot be operated without this being squeezed, which is, of course, squeezed. You hold it like that. The interesting thing is you can actually hold it right there at the ready without actually being unsafe. So this could be the only safety you use and still be at least as safe as a Glock is. Actually, it's much safer than a Glock, but you understand what I mean. The trigger type safety. Let's put it in the 1911 perspective, because it's one single action for real, and two, it's a grip safety, which Glocks can only dream about. Next safety, it has a tang safety, which means the tang is this piece right here, and the safety is marked or lodged in it. I actually have the safety on right now. So you see that? That's safe. Red is dead, of course, or fire, hot, whatever you want to call it. Now the safety is off. The gun is in the fully uncocked, and, well, no safety's engaged. We're going to load one round into the chamber for you, which is a dummy round. Not really supposed to operate it at an angle like this, but I want to do it so you can see it on the camera. Just in case you don't know how a lever action gun works, you need one motion to open it, one motion to close it. You cannot wiggle it around or do it too fast or do it too slow, or you'll cause the gun to fail. It's not the gun's fault. You are not using it properly. Lever actions have to be used one way. So we're going to go all the way open. See that round cammed up? All the way closed. Now the gun is in no safety, ready to fire mode. We know that's not a live round, but we're just saying that anyways. So, now we have the gun with the grip safety on. Went ahead and put the tang safety on. Now, every possible safety is engaged. There's another interesting feature. This gun is, of course, decockable, and you can leave the safety on while you do that, so you can safely decock it, just in case, you know, that's not real grippy. You could lose your grip on that. Put the safety on, put the safety back off, and bam, you're ready to go. When you're out in the woods, you just pull it back, take down whatever you're shooting at, and you're there. You don't have to do that, but you can. It's a feature. It does have semi-adjustable sights. Looks like for elevation. It's a fantastic gun. I really, really like this gun. Oh, yeah. And it's a side load top eject. So your spent case comes out the top and goes to the right usually. Not sure what else I can tell you about this thing. It's a fantastic gun. When I was operating it properly, it's never failed. During one of my previous loading checks, I did the classic go slow loading check, and it did fail, and I had to actually tear it apart. So you don't ever want to do that, by the way. One, don't tear it apart, and two, don't do it too fast or too slow. Find out the way it goes and just do it that way. One motion out, one motion in, ready to go. I rate this gun a 5 out of 5. It is pretty much perfect. I mean, if the steel parts didn't rust, I might be a little happier, but I don't want the gun stainless. If they came with a box of ammunition, sure, I might be a little happier, but otherwise, this gun's freaking perfect. This right here is what makes you really sad that Winchester is no longer around. I mean, sure, the Belgians are still making some of the guns over at Fabrique Nationale, but that just doesn't mean much for us Americans. This was Josh with the Winchester 94AE, a fantastic home defense, middle to heavy, thin-skinned hunting gun, and just a blast to shoot. Signing out.